Assalamualaikum, guys. We are still looking at the question here, that is, how is Albay different from Riba? Because we know by now that the Quran has prescribed Albay over Riba from the Surah Al-Baqarah 275. The Quran says, wa halallahu al-bay' wa haramu riba, that Allah has permitted al-bay' and prohibit riba. So it is our duty to further understand the message behind the Quranic revelation on the permissibility of al-bay' and the prohibition of riba. And I have earlier tried to present this issue by virtue of using the thematic approach. That is, we would like to understand how is Albay different from Riba by looking at different themes or parameter, and this include the contract parameter, and then we also look at the profit and risk parameter. And now we will be looking at the third parameter, and that would be the real sector economic growth. So this is a bit into the economic dimension of answering the above question, how Albay is able to impact the economy, and how Riba is also impacting the economy. And one of the most significant area to examine is economic growth. As we know, economic growth is the amount of goods and services produced by the economy in a year. And so economic growth is essentially real production. So we are talking about the production of new goods and services in 1 year. And this is how we will see that Albay is very much impactful, because as we know that Albay is based on sale, it is based on leasing, it is based on partnership, it is based on, sale by order from istisna and from as-salam. And we can see that the direct impact of Albay onto the economy is very much welcome, because we can see that when the financing system is driven by Albay, the financing arrangement will be directly injected into the economy, without any leakages into unproductive investment. So when we talk about economic growth, we are dealing with what? Right? We are dealing with production in manufacturing, production in agriculture, production in marine and fisheries, production in construction, and trading and commerce. So it is essentially a productive economic activity and transaction, whereby when the injection of capital through Albay is undertaken, the direct impact on the economic growth will be tremendous, will be enormous, because this Albay will be directly impacting production, employment, income generation, and so on. So this is how rich is the Islamic tradition, whereby Albay is to be made the panacea, the remedy, for as an alternative to the current ribawi economy. So in a sense that when we look at Albay, we will see that from the banking perspective, that the mobilization of funds will be done through Albay, and that will be investment. And this investment account fund will be injected into the real economy, through the various entrepreneurial and corporate transaction involving, as I said earlier, involving the real sector. So real sector imply production, employment creation, income growth, and the overall economic development of the country. So we can see here that when we are talking about Albay, it is real sector production and employment creation that add up to the GDP, as I have mentioned earlier, and capital mobilization via mudarabah and musyarakah, which is one component of Albay, to finance production in manufacturing, in construction, in farming, fishery, and trading. So this is how Albay can be very, very impactful to economic growth. Whereas when we look at Riba, financing via Riba, we will see that this will only end up in purely a financial intermediation activity, where the money injected into the economy as loans, of course this loan can end up into production as well, but the loan can also end up in unproductive investment. That is not GDP, for example, any loan given away to finance stocks, to speculate in the stock market, to any of this money injected to buy second-hand goods, pre-owned goods. So these are not adding up to the GDP, and many of these loans, were used to speculate in the various, unproductive investments, such as this so-called bitcoins and cryptocurrencies and forex and so many other unhealthy and unproductive so-called investment that will end up in waste. So the ribawi economy, or the riba-based economy, even though it can also be impactful to economic growth, so meaning that we can run a regression between economic growth and loans and deposit. For example, how loans and deposit is able to affect the economic growth. So we can run a very simple regression and to see the correlation, or how will the two variable be connected. Likewise, any financing from Albay, how it can impact GDP, employment, can be empirically investigated, and we will see that the Albay, whereby the injection of the fund will go directly into the real sector. This is where we can see that most of this capital injection will not go into waste, like what we see in the riba financing system. So Albay indeed have a very positive impact on the real sector growth, that will be also creating the employment creation and income generation. And this is how we should be looking at the superiority of Albay over Riba when it comes to its impact on economic growth and development. Okay guys, thank you very much. Then I'll see you again inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.